I love being able to get up early in the morning, being with different bandmates, different bands, because all the people that you're meeting around in this network of musicians, there's always something to learn from. I love what music has allowed me to do as far as traveling the world, seeing other people, learning other styles of music. A lot of different ethnicities, cultures that you meet all have their own sounds, and being able to be around that, to me, being a musician and a creative is one of the best things. My parents posed a question, do you want to take music lessons? I said, of course. And they gave me a guitar or drums, which one do you want to learn? And I think I chose guitar mainly because I thought it was quieter and maybe something I could play in my room and no one's going to bother me. And just be that. So I chose guitar and ended up getting an acoustic from Austinix, and then heading to lessons there for 5 to 6 years with John Wheeler, who ended up being quite an influence on me. The industry, as it was and as it is in Canada, is pretty much the same. It's very exclusionary. Kind of have to know people. It's kind of like anything. It's like friends of friends. There's a little bit of nepotism. There's a little bit of all of those things, and especially in the Canadian music industry, because it is very small and it is very tight knit. And once you get in, you really hold on to it. Ontario itself has a plethora of bands that are all over the place, different styles, very professional, and can pull a crowd, but they don't technically get what they should. They don't have the same access to factor grants. They don't have the access to really anything in the industry because they're so shunned, because you're not part of this little club. Even other bands that have been mediocre or close to making it, they all have that feeling like there's no way of getting past that line, because it's locked in for these people for an X amount of time, and good fucking luck if you're gonna get in there. That's how I feel the Canadian industry has been. The decline is everywhere. The decline is all of music industry due to its lack of control. It's just hemorrhaging money in the wrong direction. And now with the internet, with social media, with more independent bands taking everything into their own hands, I mean everything. Most time, for a label to look at you now, you have to have your album done, a video done, you have to have a tour schedule, you have to do everything that a label normally would have done for you back in the day. You have to have that done before they even look at you. So that definitely shows you the decline, that there isn't the money anymore, and the fact that they didn't take the necessary steps to future-proof or take the steps to get into the future to allow that money to continue to stay in that little industry instead of it being hemorrhaged out to Spotify, iTunes, and all these other people that are kind of got their hands in the pie while the musician is still getting next to nothing. But like I said before, having that opportunity to get your music out to everybody without having to go to a label is also awesome, but you'll never have that kind of backing. You'll never have that support that these larger bands had, because you're just not, there's 5 people in a band, how many people are you going to get to do the promotion, marketing, all that? It's a lot to take on. It seems that there's that line drawn and that's it, and then it's going to be independent for a long time, and a lot of people just trying real hard, clawing at whatever they can just to get that money, to get their careers off the ground.
What do you think caused the decline?
The internet, the fact that they didn't update their clauses, they didn't update anything to kind of protect themselves and the musicians. So that you look at what happened with Napster, you look what happened with Metallica and all these bands that kind of, they were really trying to do a good thing because they realized that the future clauses, anything that happens to be on a new media, if you recorded let's say like you're Boston, you only recorded on vinyl. If it comes out on CD, Boston doesn't own shit. They don't really own any of that stuff anymore. They have to re-up their contract and re it up for digital media. And the industry has not caught up to that on a whole. They've just basically allowed this to happen. And now they're kind of dying. They're all dying off. There's not much you can really do about it because the internet is going to take over. You look at Twitch and you look at all these smaller, not small, but like they're streaming companies that would normally be used for talk shows or gaming, and you'll see a lot of more musicians on there and a lot more bands doing live shows that way because they have the control over it. So, I mean, there's more power in the musicians' hands. There's just not enough eyes or money anymore.
Do you think there would be a way to kind of bring back the older ways in the music industry, or I mean, do you think that's even needed, say, in today's climate?
I mean, I think a lot of where we are right now is of the olden days. There's more grassroots. There's more hunger. There's more people searching for new music. That doesn't help the industry in a sense. It helps the independent bands. But if there isn't a whole for these bands to come together, then really it's always going to be spread too thin to ever be what it used to be. It's not going to be that big machine anymore. It's going to be a lot of little machines doing their own little thing. Technology has definitely made things a lot easier. I don't know if better is the answer. Back in the day, they would spend months pre-production and working on everything to make sure that every note, every chord, every change is perfect. Where now, as a musician, you don't really have to have that fear or that stress. Because if you're doing this at home, you have the luxury of sitting there and nitpicking every little thing, cutting and pasting. That could be a hindrance because the reason why I feel most people are losing their love of music, or how generations like mine or past talk about music and how it made them feel, is because not necessarily the way they played the music, it's how it was captured. You may not like certain styles of music, but you can hear them playing in that room. You can actually hear a human being playing, and it's not isolated out or sampled like you hear today. Even though major studios are still digital, you should be going in there with that fear of, you need to get this right. You need to get it right off the bat, one take, two if necessary. You want to have that fear, that pressure of doing really well, of nailing your parts, which you're not going to get if you're relying on cut and paste, plug-ins, samples. You're not really achieving tone. You're not chasing a tone either. You're just kind of taking what's there and running with it. Great for demos, great for getting your ideas out, but you should always strive to get to that bigger studio and that bigger stage, because that's where you're really going to shine. That's where all your characteristics, all your passion is going to be captured in that moment by mics and air and amp, not by computers doing a facsimile of it.
Forward, please! Please step forward or nothing at all will happen here tonight! And I swear to God, I'll start doing Journey cover songs! You people over there, get the fuck over here! 27 steps, let's do it! I'm telling you, no, 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 no. I said get over here!
Let's count them down. Green Jello. Temple of Night. The Advancing Lowlives.
Alone in my room, no one's around. Where I can hear you, I wanna be now.
Tshit, Tsunami.
Everybody's freaking out! The circle's suck like kids!
Lazy Ass Destroyer. That's 5. Those are the current projects I'm with. It's a lot, but again, being a professional, I think you want to. It's not spreading yourself thin, but you want to be as part of as many projects as possible. Getting your name out there. You're always working, which is keeping your hands, they're not idle. You're always learning new techniques, especially with these projects. Each one is different. One is a punk band, one is a black metal band, one is like an alternative grunge band, one is a hip hop rock band, and the other one is like hardcore punk. So to be able to adapt and change to those is very important. That also comes with the struggle of having to be able to adapt yourself to all these different projects at any given time, especially when it comes to shows. A big hindrance that sometimes for me is if I'm playing with one band for too long, or if we're rehearsing more, and I have to go into either a punk gig or a metal gig, I have to be able to switch my gears like that. And if I've been playing with one band for a little longer than normal, I find that I'll get stuck into that groove. So I really have to pay attention to who I'm going to be that day and what band I'm going to be in. Struggles for getting the band off the ground. Right now, for any independent band, it's absolutely insane to try to get anywhere. On the plus side of it is with the internet, you are in control of your own destiny, really. You can record your own music, you can do your own videos, you can promote your own stuff, you can basically do all your marketing all on your own, just on the internet. The struggle of that is there's a billion other people doing the same thing. So you either have to have that little thing that's a little bit better, or just keep hitting that iron. Just keep hitting it, and hopefully someone enjoys it. If it's 10 people, it's 10,000 people, you're doing something well, and then eventually it'll pick up.
Breaking news tonight, the coronavirus forcing millions more Americans into virtual
Major
lockdown.
events
Over
around the world
75
have
million
been
people in New
postponed or
York,
canceled
California,
because of
Illinois,
fears
and
over the
Connecticut
coronavirus.
ordered to stay
California's
at home.
Coachella,
The U.S.
one of the
borders to
world's
Mexico
biggest
and
music
Canada set to
festivals, has been
close to
postponed from
non-essential
its
travel.
scheduled dates in April and pushed back to October.
Denying entry to Canada to people who are
The
not
government
Canadian
wants the country to
citizens
open
or
up,
permanent
but it
residents.
feels too early. They've not reached the peak yet.
It not only destroyed the music industry, it destroyed a lot of things. It destroyed a lot of lives. There's two sides to it. You have, this is the side that a lot of people forget about. You have thousands upon thousands of workers that are your stage builders, your videographers, your lighting techs, your audio techs. All of these guys lost their jobs in a heartbeat. They lost it just like that. They were the first ones to lose it. The first ones to not get any retribution or any kind of coverage. In Canada, we were able to give them CERB, which is fantastic, but still maybe 2 months, 3 months late. Now that these people have been without a job for a year, half a year, 2 years, they found other jobs that gave them that they weren't getting from working as a stagehand. That affects how many shows we're allowed to do coming out of this. That affects whether or not these bigger venues are gonna ever have enough people to work for them, which I think going forward needs to change. I believe that if you're gonna be working in this kind of industry and it doesn't matter if it's film, audio, staging, any of that kind of stuff, you're not only working around dangerous materials, you're also working for longer hours than most. And you're working hours that are without a doubt outside of your average person's working hours. You're talking about people that wake up at 5 in the morning and work till 5 in the morning. And they pretty much get the worst of it, right? They absolutely get the fucking worst of it. And that needs to change, because this is why we're coming back out of COVID. It's gonna be really hard to find good workers that want to put on the stages. If we don't have people putting on stages, we don't have bands. We don't have bands playing. We don't have tours. We definitely don't have safe tours. We don't have safe shows. And with an industry that was already getting in question as far as safety and staging and all that, where are we left right now? Because it seems to me that a lot of the skilled workers are no longer working, and they found other jobs so they can have families and they can support themselves. The band side of things, bands can't play. Bands can't make money. If they can't make money, then they're most likely not to make any new albums, which means no new material for you. It's been tragic in that sense. Jello is definitely the most professional band I've been in, even though it's kind of hilarious to say. But I feel like the last few bands I've been in have been very professional as far as how it goes with writing, touring, interactions with other people or other bands, very professional. But with Green Jello, it's that other realm, that bigger stage, a lot more pressure, a lot more eyes, different breed. How I got into Jello was a band of mine, another band that I thought was professional, a metal band called Wretched Pain. We put on a show in Niagara Falls, and a couple of weeks had gone by and we didn't have a headliner. We didn't have a big name to really help promote the show. And I believe it was the owner of Taps that came to us with his buddy's band, Green Jello. Anyone who knows me knows I love Green Jello. Ever since I was a kid, they're one of the most fun bands to listen to, and they helped spawn the band Tool, which another favorite band of mine. What ended up happening was they always bring fans on stage. They'll dress them up in the puppet heads. You can pick whoever you want. Sometimes Bill will just, you're the toucan today, or you're Satan's ham. I was thrilled just to put on a stupid helmet and bash around with some fans. But after that gig, I was absolutely in love with just the atmosphere, that kind of fun that you rarely see in most bands where, you know, there's no holds bar. You can do whatever you want. Because if you've ever watched a Green Jello show, it's absolute chaos.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Basically what I did was beg them relentlessly to get a gig, to play with them. I'll do one show. I don't even care if I have to wear puppets or be the puppet wrangler. It didn't matter. And Bill agreed. I was able to join the Canadian band for 3 dates as a guest guitar player, 3 sold-out shows. A lot of pressure, but a lot of fun. That was pretty much all I was guaranteed, was those three dates, and that's it. Like, you're on here as a guest, you know, have your fun, and then that's it. Bill absolutely loved it, so I'm like, you gotta let me in the band, you gotta let me in the band. Begged him mercilessly, relentlessly, and he's like, it's up to the band, but they have enough members currently, so unfortunately not right now. And next thing I know, I'm getting the phone call to play these 3 sold out shows with Insane Clown Posse in Ontario. And I jumped at it. Immediately, I'm in there. You gotta get me in this. I'm going to play. I'm gonna, you know, blow your mind. I can't wait. This is the best opportunity ever. And I played those 3 shows, and I've been in the band for 7 years now. And I've played all over, with like Sweden, Vegas, LA. Got to play the Whiskey a Go-Go. Just unbelievable opportunities that have come because of this band. lost my sister to cancer, which was one of the most devastating things I could imagine happening to anybody. She was one of my biggest supporters, and just one of my best friends. Her passing hit not only me, my family, everyone hard. Getting over that was very tough, but it also helped me continue my want to play in music. It pushed me forward. I ended up gaining a drive. I needed to do something for her and like in her memory, because she was a hard worker. She really wanted to be in the entertainment industry. It's really one of the hardest things to go through, but she's always there, and I know that she's happy with what's going on right now. The second hurdle in life for me was quitting drinking. As a musician, especially as a rock musician or metal or any in this realm, it seems that drinking is one of the easiest things to come by and one of the hardest things to quit. For a lot of musicians, it's unheard of, and some people frown upon it. But if it wasn't for having a really, really good chat with Bill Manspeaker of Green Jello, and him kind of showing me what could be if I had quit and I dedicated more time, instead of partying and hanging out and doing this shit, dedicating myself to the instrument and to either his band or any of the bands that I'm in, and just do better. And he was 100% right. It's only been a year and a half, and even with COVID, I've been able to do a lot more. I've accomplished a lot more, not having that drink and not having to go to it. So those two hurdles, very big, made the world of difference for me. And I wouldn't look back and wouldn't change anything other than I would love to have my fucking sister here.
All right. What I need to happen, I need everyone that's here to do a slow circle mosh pit around me. Let's go. Let's go. Everyone, slow down. Come on. Don't be a fucking pussy. When the song kicks in, so does the circle pit. Ready? Bring it down. Sing it. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all go round. Sing it. Ring around the rosy. Sing it. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies. Sing it.
If you want to be a touring musician, be prepared to be away from family, friends, and have a whole other world presented to you. You can't ask for more. You can't always have the best of best, and you can't always have the worst, but if you can find that little middle ground, that seems to be what touring is for me these days, is enjoyment, kind of paired with traveling hell and making things on time, and dealing with people that you maybe not want to deal with, or attitudes, egos, what have you. All of it's great. The craziest time, or a lot of them are crazy. A lot of the times you go on tour, there's a lot of things you can kind of pick out that are crazy. But I still think Sweden Rockfest in 2019 with Green Jello is always going to be the most memorable, craziest shit I've ever been a part of. And that's a lot to do with the fact that I'm playing with people I idolized when I was younger. Larger than life bands that I got to meet and share stages with. Beyond me how that happened, but absolutely amazing. I got to meet guys like Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Richie Blackmore. That guy's telling you not to smile because it's rock and roll and you're still laughing. The moments like that, you can't make up, and you're never gonna find that unless you're doing these kind of things. So yeah, it's a blast. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Action! Yeah, don't look my way. Question number 1. What does it mean? What does it? Sorry. What does? Damn it.
I don't know. That's such a weird question, man. That's such a weird question.
Where do you see yourself in the future? Is the question.
Dead.
Okay, that's a short question.
Oh, that'd be great.
Imagine.
I'm rolling.
Okay.
Question? Fucking read. Yeah, technology is really good in the industry, especially when it fucking works.
Yeah, I remember you talking about technology and we couldn't pull this shit off.
You gotta be hungry every day. Every day. You have to go get that nut. I don't want to put that in.
Projects.
Is that a question within a question?
Camera rolling.
Okay, shut up. I want to get these questions out of the way. What are your...
Yeah, we gotta go.
Come see my new movie.
I want what they want.